Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. And of course, I asked you guys a couple videos ago, like how you guys feel about the pickups videos. Do you guys want me to keep them coming? And of course, you guys outstandingly said yes, keep them coming. So this one's going to be a bit shorter, but still, there's going to be some cool games in that you guys might like. So let's take a look. Here's Donut Dodo. This is a throwback to the 80s era of arcade games, kind of like Donkey Kong and stuff like that. You play as a chef that's trying to get this donut from this crazy looking dodo bird. And the game is pretty challenging, but still at the same time, it is a lot of fun. Now, I think they're going to include a 2-player mode for this soon, so I really want to see how that's going to turn out. It's going to be a lot of chaos, but like chaos in a good way, I would say. But if you haven't seen this game out there, it does have a physical from Pix and Love, and I believe it's on the Evercade as well. Here's Assault Suits Valken. Now, you guys may remember this game on the Super Nintendo. It was called, they renamed it to Cybernator for whatever reason, and they cut a lot of stuff out of it, like character portraits, some story, and some pretty violent scenes. But we got a new release by Retrobit, so this is the game in its full glory. And what's cool about this one, it actually comes with a gold cart. You know, I've never seen a Super Nintendo game come with a gold cart unless I'm missing something. But anyways, happy to have this. And also in this package, it comes with these extras. Like you have this this acrylic like art stand here, and this bottom part is the case for it here, which I'll show you guys in a bit. Here's a stand in its full glory, and it also comes with this double-sided coin. And then this is like a little sound device. I didn't feel like taking the battery, like taking the tag out for the battery and everything like that, because I just wanted to leave it because I'm probably not going to mess with it. But still, this is the collection in its full glory, and happy that this got a true release in America now. So now take a look at some quick gameplay. Here's Virtua Ages for the Dreamcast, and this is a compilation of games which consist of Virtual Cop 2, Virtual Tennis 2, Virtual Fighter 3, Virtual Athlete, Virtual Striker 2, and Virtual On. Yes, a great combination of games. I'm mostly going to be playing Virtual On, but man, just happy to have access to all these games on this compilation. So definitely, I would say check these out if you like arcade sports type games and battle arena type games. Here's Blade for the Game Boy Color. Now, I didn't even know this game existed until maybe about a couple years ago, and then it started getting kind of expensive because I wanted it complete in blocks, but if you just get the card alone, it's really cheap. Now, this is what I would call a gallery shooter and a beat 'em up all in one. Definitely a hidden gem for the Game Boy Color. If you see this out there, I would say you should pick it up immediately. Even if you're not a Blade fan, I think you'll like this game. Brave Fencer Musashi, a true hidden gem for the PS1. I kind of went over the story with this game years ago, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys again. Like, my mom originally got this for me for Christmas, and the reason I actually picked it up because I wanted to play the Final Fantasy VIII demo, which I played immensely, even though you couldn't level up, and it was very difficult. But once I played this game like a couple months later, I was blown away how good this game is. And this is more of an upgrade for me. I'll probably be selling my original copy of the game because it's kind of like damaged. But yeah, man, just a true hidden gem. They haven't been able to replicate this game in the somewhat sequel they tried to make because obviously the team members split apart. When you make games like this and they become successful, or at least successful to the people, you got to keep that team together to make a sequel. You can't just make a sequel with different people because it just doesn't match the same energy. But anyways, Brave Fencer Musashi, have not played it. An amazing adventure game. A lot going on with it. Great voice acting. Just overall, just fun.
Dance or die.
Here's Vampire Resurrection, which consists of two DarkStalkers games, I would say, part 2 and 3. And a lot of people don't know this physical exists. If you guys remember back in the day, like they had this compilation come out on the PlayStation Network, but they were trying to like gauge whether people would want a sequel for it. And I don't know if it really sold well, but honestly, these games are perfect. You know what I mean? Like if DarkStalkers never gets a sequel, I'm kind of okay with that because they could not really perfect it like past what these games are. I mean, they're literally like I consider them like top tier fighting games, but maybe some people don't. I don't know. But this collection is out there. It doesn't really go for much, I think, because a lot of people don't know about it. But definitely want a physical for these games for a cheaper price, and you want arcade perfect versions pretty much. Go ahead and pick these up. Here's Super Mario 64. Now, don't laugh. Yeah, I didn't own this game. I actually have the DS version of the game, but I don't think that's the definitive version to play of this game. Nowadays, I believe the Switch version is, or maybe the N64 still is. I'm not really sure. But anyways, if you have an N64, you have to have this game in your collection. Definitely a milestone for the Mario series, even though it's not my favorite Mario game. Mario 3 still continues to be the best. But out of this game, I want to ask you guys, what do you think is better out of 3D platformers? This game or A Hat in Time? Super Mario 64 or A Hat in Time? Let me know in the comments. Here is HyperDuel. Now, this is a reproduction, and I got this for obvious reasons. But man, this is an awesome horizontal shooter where your ship actually changes to a robot, and you can pull off all kind of crazy attacks. I'm surprised I haven't got to play this game before, and when I saw the prices for it, I was like, yep, I am not picking up the original copy, but this nice reproduction copy is right up my alley. I'm not really sure, but I feel like if games like this came out to America, like a lot of the Japanese games that were left in Japan on the Saturn that came to America, I feel like the Saturn would have did better against the PlayStation. Now, it wouldn't have blown the PlayStation away, but it still would have done a lot better than it has. here's Ninja and Ninja Part 2. Now, these games are also available, I believe, on the Nintendo eShop, but of course, you know me, I had to get the physical for it. Now, this game consists of like a lot of Ninja mini games, like Ninja Training. It's actually really a lot of fun, but if you guys do decide to pick up the the NES version of this game, make sure you read the instruction manual. It is pivotal that you read it to kind of figure out some of these games. But anyways, yeah, happy to have this. And this game was actually created by a friend of mine, Sergio. You guys may know him from Sergio and the Holograms. He has his own YouTube channel where he explains a lot of like details on how he puts music in games and just a lot of cool stuff. So definitely check him out. He's also been on Jason's channel too, so you can see an episode of him on there as well. Here is the Simpsons Arcade game for the Dreamcast. Now, this is not an official port, but still, it's a decent port. It could have been better if the frame rate issues were better in the game, but still, the game is playable, and if you want to have a physical copy of the arcade game on a system, the Dreamcast is the way to go, unless you want that DOS port that was released years ago. A lot of people don't even know about that. Or maybe it was, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was DOS. But anyway, Simpsons Arcade game. Everybody knows about this. Definitely one of the coolest beat-em-ups of all time. Check it out. Here's Melty Blood Act Cardenza. Now, I first played these games on the PC. That's pretty much where they were born from. You know, usually the company who made this game, they usually did visual novels, but then they did a spin-off fighting game that was more popular than the novels. Finally got ported to the PS2. I don't know if a lot of people got to play this version of the game, but it's still a faithful port to the PC. But obviously, if you're looking for story elements, it's going to be in Japanese, unfortunately. But the gameplay, obviously, is where it's at. So this game goes for around, I want to say maybe, well, I got mine in a bundle. It usually goes for around $15, $20 at the most, I think. I could be wrong about it, but if you like the footage you're seeing here, I would say definitely pick this one up. And here is Melty Blood Actress again. This is the collector's edition. I think all of them came like this, but no. It actually came in a single edition. It has a really cool cover on it, but I like this cover as well. But obviously a better game, more characters, more moves, all that good stuff. Different paths in the story. I do want to say this game does have a sequel on the PS4. I actually did a video on it, like an unboxing video on it years ago. But any of these games I would say check out. But whatever you have easier access to, go for that one. Like I feel like more people will probably buy this on Steam and play it like that because it's easier that way. Unless you have like a PS2 system that's region free, or you just have a Japanese PS2 in general. But either way, find your own way to play these games. And here is Shinrei Jusatsushi. Man, I'm not trying to pronounce this whole game, but this is one of the most expensive Sega Saturn games in existence. I believe it's number one. I actually remember my buddy Gerald had this game before, a long time ago, and he showed it to me. And I wasn't too impressed with it, but then as I watched gameplay footage, I was like, this game is actually pretty interesting. Then looked up a price and like, yeah, I'm never playing this. So this copy I showed you guys earlier is a repro copy, so I could play the game on my Saturn. And the game is pretty good, man. Just like I remembered it. So I implore you, if you're gonna get this game, make sure your bills are paid and all that stuff. Don't put yourself in the hole trying to buy this game because it's not worth the price it's going for, at least to me. But it is extremely rare. And here's Tokobot Plus. Now, this game came out on the PSP first, but that version, to me, is just kind of forgettable. The PS2 version really goes all out, and you kind of call it a director's cut. Now, the game reminds me a lot of the old school Mega Man Legends games, just when it comes to the adventure aspect. When it comes to gameplay, obviously it's slightly different. You have these little mini robots that help you get around and fight bosses and turn to all kind of different vehicles. The game is also very story-driven, has good voice acting, animated cutscenes, and just overall what I would call a hidden gem. Now, this game is still very cheap, and it'll probably be like that for the foreseeable future. This game hasn't been expensive ever, but so it's easy to access, I would say. But if you have a choice between getting the PSP version and this one, definitely get the PS2 version first. It is the better experience. I wish I had played the PS2 version first before I played the PSP one. I'd have felt a lot better about the game back in the day. But anyways, guys, see this one out there. It is a must-have. Here's a Super Spy for Neo Geo CD. Now, this game, it's actually, if you try to go through all the way through it. It takes around like, I want to say like an hour. Well, no, it takes more than an hour. Probably get you like 2 hours into this game. But it's very weird because you fight with like your fist, and then you fight with knives, and you fight with guns, and it's very random that you get certain weapons to kind of help you out get through the level. It's actually fun, but I don't think it's not 2 hours worth of fun, I would say. So it's a pretty tough game, at least it was for me. But if you guys have played this, I'd love to know your opinion about it. Here's Arcana Heart 2 for the PS2. Now, I was hoping that Atlas would have ported this over, to America, but they didn't. But it's okay. I got to test this on PS2. I can play all this stuff. Now, if you like 2D fighting games with good sprite work, this one's definitely something you should take a look at, if you have the ability to play it. It's actually a lot of fun, a lot of flashy moves, and this game has one of the hardest bosses in fighting game history. I'm telling you guys, the secret boss in this game, like, it almost puts like the SNK bosses to shame. I'm not lying. Like, you gotta check it out for yourselves. It is brutal. But hopefully some of you guys will try to skip fighting that boss, because that for me, that would kill the experience. That boss is just too tough. But the regular boss is decent, so you'll have a good time with this one. But yeah, if you guys have played this series, let me know what you think about it. And also, part 1 and 3 came out to America, so you can find those pretty easy, I think. But yeah, definitely a good fighting series to look into. Here's the King of Fighters 99 for Neo Geo CD. Now, this was the first game to introduce the new saga, which was the NES saga. That had to do with a lot of cloning and weird stuff like that. I don't know how people feel about the storyline compared to the Orochi saga, but I actually like the NES saga. But this game was the first one to actually introduce a striker system. Now, I'm not really a big fan of that system, but I thought it was pretty decent, but not something I would regularly like in my fighting games, just having an assist character come in. But this game is definitely a solid entry in the series. Here's Luigi's Mansion's Dark Moon. I have never played any of these games before, so this will be the first one I play. And I got this out of the GG Retro box, so I'm pretty excited to try this one out. I don't know what I'm hoping for with this one. Maybe it'll be a new series that'll pull me in, or maybe it'll be something I'm not really interested in. I don't know yet, but you guys let me know your experience with this game in the comments section. I love that I'm back on the import scene, and this next game right here is Nurse Witch Komugi. Yeah, something like Komugi-chan. It's actually based off an anime series, but this is one of those gallery platform levels where you kind of clear the area of enemies, and it kind of reminds you of stuff like Bubble Bobble, Snow Brothers, or just simple games like that. Pretty fun game. I don't know if it gets repetitive, because the levels kind of look the same, but it's actually pretty fun, so I'm happy to have this in the collection. Next up is CyberOrg. So I saw a video where this guy was going over every Squaresoft game, back in the day, and I saw this game on the list, and this game is actually fully voice acted in English, and I was like, dude, what the heck? So I feel like this game would have came out to America, but looking at the release date for it, Squaresoft probably said, nah, we want to focus on the PS2, whatever. But this game I think would have did great if it came to America. I also feel like this game had high production values, but Squaresoft was actually known for that back in the day, so I'm not surprised with this game. And I like that they were taking a different approach. Instead of doing turn-based RPGs, they turned to doing something like an action RPG. So from what I read in the story is that you're pretty much stuck on this planet, and you get to play as 3 different characters, and you solve puzzles, and it's pretty much action after that, like in these little areas to kind of find out what's going on with the storyline. Very excited to play through this game. I'll probably do a review about this one in the future because I'm pretty much excited about this one. But just want to let everybody know that this game majority of the game is in English. Just know that this game is English friendly, I would say. And you can follow the story, which is one of the reasons why I want to play this game.
In space, there are so many things beyond our imagination. It was my 4th year with the Space Investigation Bureau of the Genomations when I came to this realization. I was on vacation when I received an order. Ambassador Poe of the planet Romulus, which is trying to establish friendly relations with us, has disappeared in Area Z3. Investigate immediately. The investigation was to be performed by the joint forces of the Federal Space Investigation Bureau and the local sheriff's department. I left for the sheriff station of Area Z3 of the Geno Nations right away. When I got there, the investigation team had already been formed.
Steambot Chronicles, one of the most unappreciated games in gaming history. No, I'm just kidding. The people that have played this game love it, but unfortunately a lot of people haven't played it because it pretty much lives and dies on the PS2 system. There was a sequel that was being developed for it, where there's actually two spin-offs. They're on the PSP. One is Steambot Chronicles Battle Tournament, which is actually a very good game, and the other one is like based off a mini game that's in this game. But a true sequel was being developed for the PS2 at first, then it transferred to the PS3, and then unfortunately it was canceled. Now you can still find trailers out there for it, so you can see the gameplay, but I was really looking forward to that game, and unfortunately it never happened. But this is my third copy of the game. I got it in a bundle deal, so there was a bunch of games in the bundle, so this was one of them. This wasn't the one I was targeting, but since it was in that bundle, I went ahead and picked it up too. There's so much you could do in this game. You could make money like playing music on the streets. You could take just regular jobs and just progress through the story. And you could actually be a good guy or a bad guy, and that changes the ending, of course. And you kind of switch. You could kind of switch in between too if you want. Like you get chances to switch to be a good guy or a bad guy, which is nice. Like during the middle of the game. But man, this game just has a lot going for it, and the voice acting was good. The story really just came together. It's hilariously a good time. I really hope you guys will get to experience this game one day. You know, definitely a good time. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully out of that collection of games, I hope you found something that you might be interested in. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching, Radical One, and I will see you all later.